I don't know, Ramos is probably maybe deflect it and put it back onto Salah rather than the attention that's coming at him, you know.
I do think though that if Egypt were to reach a World Cup quarter-final, that's as big a game, if not a bigger game, than a Champions League final. That's a once-in-a-lifetime, history-making, entire country, tens and tens of millions of people in your country, where you come from, actually on the global stage, and everybody is tuned in. The whole world is watching that. Champions League final happens every year. It's a great thing, it's very important and all, but World Cup quarter-final versus Champions League final, give me a World Cup quarter-final any day.
I don't know, like he's going to slag me off now because I used this line out in the office earlier, but, you know, show me the match programme from the World Cup quarter-final I lost, but here's my Champions League medal. Like, a Champions League medal is just the crowning glory in a player's career, unless you happen to win the World Cup, which Salah will never do with Egypt. Plus, if Egypt got out of their group, they're going to be feted and lauded anyway. I mean, no one's getting any praise Liverpool way. Liverpool aren't getting praise their way for losing the Champions League final.
But I suppose when you think about Irish soccer teams and what we think about now, we think about World Cups, and we grew up watching Italia 90 and USA 94, and we can remember to the day, like, Ireland going and beating England and even Euro 88, and then the performance against Italy in the
This isn't about us though, this is about the player.
But what I'm saying is,
from Salah's mind,
from his point of view, yeah, but maybe he's looking at it from an Egyptian, he is looking at it obviously from an Egyptian point of view. Like, if we were looking at it from an Irish point of view, I suppose it would be like if we took a step back a couple of years ago and said, well, if Robbie Keane was in the same situation, would he look at it and say, well, I want to win a Champions League, whether he was with Liverpool or wherever it was, or would it be a chance to lead Ireland into the knockout stages of a World Cup?
Champions League medal, please.
No way!
Yes!
You're playing the World Cup quarter-final. If you win that game, you're in the top four of the world.
I'm still on the Champions League medal side, but I can see a little bit of the argument.
If you'd sat down with Salah before kick-off and said, look, we have a chance by some sort of supernatural being getting involved to make this go your way tonight, but you're not going. If you win and walk away with the trophy and the medal this evening, Egypt won't get out of the group in the World Cup. I know what way he's going.
What about?
You know what? I'll take my chances tonight.
What about Gareth Bale? Like, in terms of the Euros he had a couple of years ago, the run they went on with Wales, and okay, he might be like, no one remembers that internationally now in terms of, okay, Wales had a good tournament. Whereas now he's, what, 4 Champions Leagues in 5 years, and he obviously has one of the best goals ever.
See, it happens all the time. The Champions Leagues happen all the time.
Yeah, but that's what he's going to be.
Him reaching the semi-final, I suspect, in his mind, is actually a much greater achievement.
Oh, it's a semi-final now. It was a quarter-final at the beginning of the argument.
Gareth Bale. Look at this ball here, right? That's the World Cup 2002, signed by every member of the team, except Roy Keane. Is Roy Keane more pissed off at not playing in that World Cup or not playing in the Champions League final in the treble-winning season?
Not playing the Champions League final.
What?
Of course you see, you haven't me on.
Definitely the Champions League.
That's a completely wrong example to pick if you want to win this argument.
Roy Keane missing out on the World Cup.
He doesn't give two shits about missing the World Cup in 2002.
Are we going to get to talk about Saipan now?
Are you joking me?
I would imagine that Roy Keane has not lost a wink of sleep for missing out on that World Cup. But I guarantee you he's had sleepless nights over not playing at the Nou Camp in '99.
No, should they won? He got the medal.
That annoys him even more.
No. I actually, all of the literature says that not playing in the World Cup was like this massive, traumatic, life-changing event for him. He was never the same player afterwards, really.
But that wasn't necessarily because he didn't play in the World Cup. He was 32 at the time. His powers were on the wane.
Look.
And he was in a Manchester United team that was suddenly going nowhere.
It's probably, you'll likely be at a press conference with him at some stage the next couple of months. Maybe you could ask him for us.
Yeah.
What's his biggest regret, you know?
Apropos of nothing, Roy. I'm
sure I'm sure it'll go down well with him anyway.
He loves being redirected elsewhere. Yeah. But I was happy to have the argument with you until you brought Roy Keane in. For me,
I think if you give Mo Salah, like, you have to go out. I'm going to have to give you an injection into your shoulder to play for the rest of this game, and it's the Champions League final. We know he doesn't take it, but if it's the World Cup quarter-final and it's scoreless for Egypt, he's taking that injection 100% and twice on Sundays.
No, not for me, no.
I think the way he left the field as quickly as he did
playing for his country,
Kiev would tell me that he was, no matter what the magnitude of the game, he was going to leave the field. It was almost categorical within 60 seconds of the incident that he was leaving the field.
You must know there's a good chance he's playing so well. There's a good chance he's going to be in a Champions League final again at some stage in his career. There's never going to be another opportunity for him to play in a World Cup quarter-final. And who knows, like, what happens in that game. Like, I'm not saying that it's automatic they get beaten, because World Cup quarter-finals go to penalties. Teams have a man sent off. Weird stuff happens.
Same as Champions League finals.
Yeah, but you get there every year. There's like the group stages happen next season. And he's like, yeah, okay, we were there last year. I've got one of the best managers in world football.
And all that goes through his head in the 2 minutes that he's injured.
No, but I just think that I think that Dave's point is that the Champions League final is a bigger game than a World Cup quarter final for a player like Mo Salah, and I don't accept that.
Okay, but I still maintain that it is a bigger game.
Well, there you go.
And I'd like our listeners to weigh in on this.
Yeah.
Our viewers, please.
Hit us up there on Twitter, @OffTheBallAM.
Plus, also tell us, do they believe Roy Keane, in his mind, feels that the World Cup, missing out on 0-2 in Japan and Korea, was a bigger miss than missing the Champions League final?
We had a realistic shot. Look at how crap the tournament ends up being.
I would say United having won the game pissed him off even more so.
Maybe it pissed him off, but at least he still has the medal, and like he's been an important part of it.
Medal that's worthless to him. It means absolutely nothing to him. It's like the guy in an All-Ireland final who doesn't get a single minute on the pitch, walking out of Croke Park that night with his medal.
You got one of those.
Thanks.
Jesus, Dave.
I was on your side up until that one.
Oh. That might be the most awkward moment in the history of OTBAM. on Roy Keane, Saipan and the Nou Camp. Info from the Keane Vieira doc on ITV. Keane revealed he at first felt he didn't deserve his Champions League medal after missing the final through suspension, but he added that his views had softened on the matter in recent years. Roy said if he could change one thing about his career, it would be to play in the 2002 World Cup. Boom.
I don't believe it.
You don't?
I'm not having it.
From his own mouth.
Yeah, I don't.
Champions League or World Cup, Keane said in the Keane Vieira doc that his biggest regret was not playing the World Cup when I spent 90 as time has passed, I've stopped on it. I played 90 minutes in all the other games in the Champions League. There you go, exactly.
He felt that he had stood by his principles in 2002 and that he couldn't really look back on it with any regrets. Now, yeah, that clip in the cold light of day while I'm trying to argue my case here doesn't look good, Ger.
But you're going to keep going anyway.